What's going on, guys? BriarRabbit here. Today I wanted to play a little bit of Black Ops 2, and I didn't have much luck. So it's kind of a rainy, dreary day, and the kids are home. They're not at camp. They're in that in-between period between camp and school. So they're at home. They're inside because it's kind of rainy and dreary, and they decide, you know, we're going to watch a little YouTube, and they're doing it on two separate devices. So considering that the netcode in Black Ops 2 isn't all that great to begin with, having them home and watching YouTube videos on the same network I'm trying to play on, it just didn't create an environment that was suitable for playing good Black Ops 2. So what I did instead is I put in a little bit of Call of Duty Ghosts, and I didn't have a problem at all. You know, you'll see a couple of shotgun misses that I think I probably should have gotten, but for the most part, the netcode worked flawlessly in Call of Duty Ghosts under the same situation that I was having trouble with Black Ops 2. And that got me to wondering, like, why doesn't Treyarch just rip the Infinity Ward netcode right out of their games and put it into the next Treyarch game? Why haven't they been doing that in the past? Now, a lot of people get upset at me for saying this. A lot of people really hated Modern Warfare 3's lag compensation. I personally didn't have a problem with it. It wasn't a big deal for me. I did have a much bigger deal, a much bigger problem with Black Ops 2's netcode, where, you know, it seemed like bullets would wrap around corners to get you. People would, in your kill cam, people were staring at you for a half a second before they started shooting at you. But on your screen, it looked like they just popped out, shot you once, and you died. You know, that kind of stuff is all on the netcode as far as I can tell. And it didn't happen to me as much in Modern Warfare 3, and I think Call of Duty Ghosts probably has the best netcode I've ever seen in a Call of Duty game. It is near flawless. You know, of course, you're going to have a couple of issues here and there. It's the internet. It's only so reliable. But all this got me thinking, if I could design the perfect Call of Duty game, a perfect Call of Duty designed by me and implemented by whoever I wanted, who would I get to kind of divvy up all of the tasks? Like, obviously, I can't write and code a Call of Duty game. I don't have the skill set. But if it were my job to assign each task to a specific studio, and I could use anybody from either Treyarch or Infinity Ward at any time, how would I do it? So I started thinking about it, and obviously I went with map design first, because I think that's probably one of the biggest problems with Call of Duty Ghosts in a lot of people's eyes, is the map design just isn't exciting. Treyarch, I think, does great map design. Even back for World at War, I think the maps were awesome. They're colorful, they're beautiful, they're fun to play in, they're original. I think Treyarch just has a flair for designing good maps. I think they just do a better job. They also use the entire color palette, which is something that Infinity Ward just doesn't seem to be able to do. Infinity Ward has a color palette that only includes gray, brown, and green. They don't include any other color. Treyarch uses actually every color, and it comes out with great looking maps, you know, much more colorful maps. So I would definitely go with Treyarch for the map design. But for the netcode, obviously, like I talked about before, I would definitely have Infinity Ward put the netcode in, program all of that netcode and as much of the game that relies on that netcode as possible. So I get a beautiful game like a Treyarch game that also runs really well in multiplayer like an Infinity Ward game. Then I would bring in the guns, and I'd get Treyarch to bring in all the guns, right? I'd say, okay, Treyarch, bring in whatever you want. Let your imagination run wild. We'd get to see new things like crossbows and the KSG with the slug from Black Ops 2. I think they're just more creative when it comes to bringing in new weapons and new ideas. And I'd really like to see Treyarch run with that for my perfect Call of Duty. Now, the other side of that is that I don't think they're as good at balancing stuff. I just don't. When I think back on some of the really crazy, over-the-top, like wicked, overpowered weapons, it's really Treyarch games that come to mind first. So I would have Infinity Ward, who I think nailed it in Call of Duty Ghosts. I mean, if there are balancing issues for weapons in Call of Duty Ghosts, they are so minimal that they are almost unnoticeable, only noticeable really by people that are really hardcore at the game. So I would have the guns designed by Treyarch, but then I would have Infinity Ward balance it all. And then, while they're at it, I would have them do all the perks, too. I think that Infinity Ward does a better job at perks. They don't tend to get into these, like, really overpowered things that Treyarch often finds, like Lightweight in Black Ops 2. That was a perk that you almost had to run in Black Ops 2 just to just because it gave you such an advantage. So how would you guys design your perfect Call of Duty game? Who would you guys get? Which developers would you guys get to design the different segments of a Call of Duty game? Let me know down in the comments. That's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.